Hey guys, in this video, I want to discuss with you how estrogen in excess can contribute to skin aging and wrinkles. Skin aging to some degree is inevitable. The stress of aging contributes to an influx of antioxidants, to free radicals, from stress hormones to protective adaptive hormones, which ultimately degrade the cell's ability to produce energy, which would lead to structural and energy issues. So in other words, aging is a stress, and no matter what, the body is going to slowly decompose and age, but when you're healthy, it's going to occur at a rate that is not necessarily visible on a day-to-day basis. You're going to really only notice that your body's aging after 50, 60, 70, 80 years. So I think that the fact of the matter remains that no matter what, your body will age, the skin will lose some of its density, its pliability, flexibility, elasticity, and this is going to lead to, of course, a natural aged appearance to the skin, to the body. However, for people that are undergoing chronic stress, whether that's psychological stress, environmental stress, so stress induced by their surroundings, their environment, also stress induced by diet, a disease state, or some other intrinsic or extrinsic stressor, you might notice that you're aging at a rate that's a bit more uncomfortable than you would like to be aging at. And of the many things that can contribute to or accelerate the rate of skin aging, the hormone estrogen may be one of the key players. So what I want to do with you in this video is discuss with you exactly how this particular hormone estrogen may be contributing to accelerated skin aging, and particularly the formation of wrinkles, and by the end of the video give you some tips for regulating and keeping your estrogen levels in check as a novel anti-aging therapy or protocol. So there are many factors that contribute to youthful, healthy skin that is free of wrinkles, but one of the dominant factors or contributing characteristics is hydrated skin, so skin that has a high water content. And one of the major dominant chemicals in the body is an acid known as hyaluronic acid, which is incredibly responsible for the proper hydration of the skin tissue. And of course, as we age, there's a natural decline in hyaluronic acid, which not only makes the skin less hydrated, but thinner and more susceptible to damage and wrinkling. Now, there are many factors that contribute to either the synthesis, production, or degradation of hyaluronic acid, but of them, the most dominant are the hormones in the body, particularly the stress hormones like estrogen. And estrogen, like stress in general, has one particular negative effect on the production of hyaluronic acid and its contribution to skin aging and wrinkling. And that is estrogen, like stress and shock, can stimulate the production of an enzyme known as hyaluronidase. And this particular enzyme is actually responsible for degrading or breaking down hyaluronic acid. And in the stress of aging, this enzyme is naturally increased alongside the production of estrogen. So in aging, there's an increased production of both estrogen and hyaluronidase and a decreased production of hyaluronic acid. So when hyaluronidase is high, whether that's mediated by stress or estrogen or aging, it starts to degrade or rapidly break down hyaluronic acid, which makes the skin less hydrated, less elastic, and more susceptible to damage and wrinkling. So there's a pretty direct correlation between low levels of hyaluronic acid and skin aging and wrinkling, and estrogen is one of the major mediators. And not only does estrogen stimulate the degradation of hyaluronic acid by stimulating hyaluronidase, but estrogen actually increases the concentration of this enzyme, hyaluronidase, in the bloodstream, where it actually exerts pro-inflammatory effects, which could contribute to more skin aging and skin damage. So in a few words, high estrogen means the degradation of hyaluronic acid and the production of hyaluronidase in the blood, which is inflammatory. And inflammation is a major contributing factor to skin aging and skin damage. And if these effects weren't enough, keep in mind that estrogen does stimulate the production of cortisol by way of the pituitary, which acts on the adrenal glands, telling the adrenal glands to overproduce cortisol. But at the same time, it breaks the communication network between the pituitary and the adrenal glands. So the pituitary never really gets the message to turn down the production of cortisol. So in this way, high estrogen levels can actually cause a chronic production of cortisol. And this is bad news for your skin because cortisol is actually very catabolistic to the skin tissue. When it's chronically elevated, it can catabolize and break down the skin tissue to make sugar to cope with the stress of the high estrogen and the high cortisol in the body. So cortisol is very damaging to the skin, and like estrogen, a contributing factor to skin aging. So in these two ways, the direct degradation of hyaluronic acid and the loss of water in the skin, the dehydration of the skin, the loss of elasticity, which also interferes with normal collagen synthesis and production, and also through its stimulatory effects on the adrenals and the stimulation of cortisol, estrogen is a very aging hormone to the skin when it's in excess. So with all of this in mind, obviously taking a natural route to regulate and lower high estrogen levels is going to be a novel way to protect the skin from aging and wrinkling. And one of the simplest ways to do this is through the use of anti-aromatase herbs. So herbs like nettle root, schizandra berry, pine pollen, and even herbs like black ant. All of these herbs have some sort of anti-estrogen effect. Some of them are anti-aromatase herbs, so they protect your androgens from becoming estrogen. Other herbs help your liver to directly grab onto, bind with excess estrogen, metabolize it, and eliminate from the body. And they're all very simple and easy herbs to use daily for regulating the estrogen in your body. But one of the major things you're going to want to focus on in regards to high estrogen in the body is your liver health and liver function. And this is because the liver is the major gland or organ in the body responsible for either producing hormones through various enzymatic reactions or for metabolizing and destroying unused hormones. So when the liver is not working right, it doesn't produce enough of the right hormones, and you tend to accumulate an excess of the stress hormones like estrogen. So whether your liver is impaired from the consumption of toxic substances, medications, estrogenic substances like marijuana or cannabis, and alcohol can all damage and deplete the liver energy. A low carb or low sugar diet, a protein deficiency, vitamin A deficiency, these things can all impair liver function and result in high estrogen accumulation in your bloodstream or in your body. So learning to care for the liver is going to be essential. We have videos on our YouTube channel that talk about how to care for the liver, and pretty much all of our online courses also give you an in-depth protocol for restoring liver function, particularly our healthy weight loss course. So in summary, whether you want to start to reverse some skin aging or some wrinkling or prevent it altogether, one of the major things you're going to want to take a look at is the balance of hormones in your body, particularly the levels of estrogen in your body. So if you suspect that you have high estrogen levels, you're going to want to bring those back down. And we happen to have tons of videos on the YouTube channel, as well as tons of tips and information in our online courses for teaching you exactly how to do that. However, that does bring this video to a close. So if you've enjoyed it and found it helpful, be sure to give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to the YouTube channel if you haven't yet already. And if you're interested in learning more beyond this YouTube channel for more additional information and resources, be sure to check the description box below for links to our online wellness academy, tonic herb shop, and blog.